Why should we pay you for something we can do ourselves?
Do you know how to keep from getting charged for the ice below the floorboards at Chicago Stadium? Do you know how to do a headlining tour? Do you know how to get a record not pressed but played? You got to take what you can, when you can, while you can, and you got to do it now. That's what the big boys do. Because if you think Mick Jagger will still be out there trying to be a rock star at age 50, you're sadly mistaken. I didn't invent the rainy day, man. I just own the best umbrella.
Saturday, I caught your cold spell. Laid out on a bed in this ruin with a view. I tried to leave, but the one-eyed Dodge refused to keep its cool. Where's all the love we made, and are you? I left behind a past future, waiting out, waist deep in this sea of needy fools. If grass is greener on the other side, ask yourself, does it still get you high? It's my Saturday.
Well, there you have the sounds of Son of Good Sam, now managed by Mike Prater, otherwise known as Plan C Prater.
Woohoo!
The band manager for Son of Good Sam. Very concerning that Prater is not content with being a former fat newspaper reporter, a current fat sports radio guy. Now he has to be a Plan C band manager for Son of Good Sam. What do you have to say for yourself, Prater?
Just doing it to keep you on your toes. If you don't keep me happy around here, I got Plan C. I got 4 guys here in Boise that would love to have me stick around a little bit more, and we got one of them here on the show right now.
Yeah, so out on the Alpha Home Systems hotline now, tell us a little bit about Steve, his background, what he does with the group, Prater, your group.
Steve Hall, who's joining us right now, is Steve Hall and I met in junior high in Twin Falls, Idaho, lost track of each other for about 20, 30 years, stumbled upon each other probably in some seedy situation in Boise. Steve, there's the lovely voice of Steve. If you're a longtime Boise fan, you know Steve Hall is the drummer and the founder of House of Hoi Polloi in the 90s, one of Boise's greatest rock bands. And Guy Finley, Daniel Mogford, and Mark Hedrick have formed Son of Good Sam. Together, these guys have 40, 50 years of musical experience. They've played with some of the biggest names in the industry, and they decided to get together and form a rock band. And I'll let Steve say why he was so desperate that he had to lob me an email and ask me to come bail him out.
Wait a minute, Steve. Let's get this straight. Knowing Prater, he begged you guys because he wanted something to do.
I couldn't get rid of him.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know how he found my address, but
trying to lose him ever since, right? Yeah.
You tried to ditch me in junior high, and you're still trying to get rid of me, aren't you?
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, it's like finally, it's like this is how I can do it. It's like okay. No, but I follow your guys' show. I listen to your guys' show all the time, and I know Mike and I shared the same friends from Twin Falls, and we were both into sports and stuff, and I just remember he had been at Statesman for so long, 3 decades, I guess, and I figured he'd need to have some friends. So
he had a lot of enemies. You balanced it out. Congratulations, Steve.
I literally retired, and then I went on my 4-day tequila bender, if you remember. Right?
Yes, it started on the air. How could we forget?
Exactly. And then I went up into the mountains for a couple of days to get away from all you knuckleheads. And I came back from the mountains, and I had this email, and it literally said, I got this crazy, crazy idea.
Is it Steve?
Yeah, from Steve.
Steve, this band, Son of Good Sam, was your idea?
It was, and it's funny. I knew he had nothing to do. He's tired, and he's a good communicator, man. And he was passionate about music because we kept bumping into each other. And Guy and I talked about having a manager, even at this level. It's best for us to have somebody to take over those small details and just have us focus on music and writing and recording.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it's like, you know what? No harm, no foul. I mean, I've been dissed before. And so that's when I threw that out there. And Mike got back to me rather quickly. I mean, he said, first of all, he's flattered, and then, secondly, he was intrigued. So,
well, wait a minute. If it wasn't paid, what was it that you were flattered about, Prater?
Somebody asked me to join something.
Oh, okay. All right. Steve, now I'm his representative. We need to start talking about percentages for the future. To hell with the current. You couldn't possibly pay him what he's worth. What kind of a cut could he get when he books you a venue over 5,000 seats?
Well, it's a free show for him. So
okay. I get a free ticket, maybe even a free drink coupon.
And along with that, Caves, are like free drink tickets.
So, okay. All right. That's the first round.
There is some stuff in there.
That's the first round. But I like the background of you guys. And Prater, the House of Hoi Polloi.
You remember those guys? You probably did some damage at those guys.
Steve, you guys were pretty much unavoidable. Some of the places that you'd played. Yeah. You played repeatedly. You guys had a long run. I told Prater, I thought Ocean was the band of the 80s.
Yes.
And, Taji and Faulkner went on and done different things on their own. And I think you guys, in the 90s. And I don't know. And I said, now there's probably so many local indies that are going through here. It's a different story. But that was a hell of a run for you guys in the 90s.
It was, and to make a correction, I merely co-founded Hoi Polloi with Steve Fulton. I mean, he's a dear friend, and how it all happened is just a typical rock story. I mean, he invited me to come down to California, and I was going to join a band that he had been in, and by the time I got there, they had broken up, and I had $200 in my pocket. My van was loaded with everything I owned, and he says, "Hey, don't leave. Let's start this band." And he told me about Hoi Polloi, the name and stuff. And I said, well, I'm here. Let's go. And so, it's, you don't pass up those opportunities because you don't want to kick yourself later and say, God, I wish I would have done that, and lo and behold, look what happened. I mean, I got to do what I wanted to do. I mean, I wanted to write songs and I was becoming more prolific at that time as well as Steve. And we had a really fun run. It was great, like you said, Jeff. I mean, we got to meet some of our heroes and all these different stories. We could all write a book about our experiences. It's just crazy funny.
We're visiting with Steve Hall of Son of Good Sam here on Sports Radio The Ticket. Mike Prater's now the manager for Son of Good Sam. They open their debut locally here will be at the Olympic, Prater?
Yeah, the Olympic tomorrow night. We got 3 bands. We got the Red Light Challenge. We got the What For, and then Son of Good Sam goes on at the Olympic Club tomorrow night. That's upstairs above Mulligan's. It's a beautiful, cool, little intimate little concert venue, fairly new. It's a really nice venue inside, and three great killer local bands, and it's going to be fun. I make a lot of jokes about music. I make a lot of jokes about these guys, but these are the reason why I'm doing this is because these are 4 of the most talented individual musicians I've ever seen in my life. These guys are amazing individually. I've just got to know them musically together in the last couple of months, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow night when you do a debut show, and then they've got the debut album, The Human Thing, coming up later this spring. These guys are serious, and they're not going to go out and play 60,000 people in front of stadiums, but they're serious about local rock, regional rock. They have some connections in L.A. We plan to go to L.A. and put on some shows, so these guys are going to stick around. These guys know what they're doing, and they've written some good stuff, some really, really good stuff. The show tomorrow night is going to just blow your mind.
Hey, Steve, so what is the end game for you with this group and with the rest of you guys? I know some of you guys in this group independently wealthy. Others have done successful things. So what is the end game, when you've hired Mike Prater as the Plan C manager? What's the end game here?
Quite the contrary. We're not rich. It's still that rock and roll story. I mean, I have a job. I have kids. Guy has kids. Mark has kids. I mean, we've all been through the grind, and we've been through the flaky band members and whom we still love. I mean, it doesn't mean they're bad people. I mean, it's just we want to do something that. It's just like the race car analogy. I mean, if 4 guys like to build a race car, well, they don't build it to lose. They build it to win, and whatever that means for us, whatever's put in front of us, and if it's worth us going out for and trying to grab, we still will. I mean, it's just a passion that we have. The end game, it'll always be music. It may not be like physically playing it, but still writing for me. Mm-hmm. Because drummers have a shelf life. If you ever seen that one movie with the guys that their drummer always explodes and they never have a drummer. I forgot what the name of that movie is, but it's a physical thing. But for me as a writer, it's really cool. It's really cool to have something like this and have guys that are behind it, as much as you are. And it's just a lot of fun. You always hear us say fun. If it wasn't fun, we wouldn't be here at all.
Well,
that's for certain.
I wish you guys nothing but the best. I know Prater will keep us updated. We have our Music of Our Life segments at 4:50. I'm sure Son of Good Sam will be in a regular rotation. I wish you the best. I hope that you never get into a financial relationship with Prater that includes covering his tabs. Always keep him on a cash basis. You don't want him trading away your fees at some of these clubs across the West. So please keep an eye on him because we need him back here. I know 3 o'clock in the afternoon will become the new 8 a.m. for Prater if you people take off. So very concerned.
You don't know how true that is, Jeff.
Yeah, I know. I've been around that. But we do wish you the best of luck, Steve.
I appreciate it, Jeff. Great talking to you.
You bet, man. There's Steve Hall, son of Good Sam, the drummer. I guess a writer of some of the album.
Wrote the entire album. Drummer, founder of the band, and all around good Twin Falls guy.
Yeah, all right.
And if you own a concert venue in town, call me. I got a band for you.